So here's the problem with the dad bod argument. And if you've watched any of my stuff, you know I have an issue with this concept that we become a father and therefore it's just acceptable to get fat. It's acceptable to get out of shape. It's acceptable to stop looking after yourself because you're a dad now. It's fine. Like, you don't have time to do that kind of stuff anymore. You know, and for whatever reason, the association with it is that you either have a dad bod or you completely neglect your family and you're a dick and you don't do anything fun with them and you're, not spending time with your children, and that somehow, the only way to be present and part of your family is to have a dad bod. You couldn't possibly do that while also being in shape. And which is just the most fucking ridiculous notion that, the only way to be in shape is to be this completely obsessed asshole who doesn't do anything but work out and he's a selfish prick and all this kind of stuff. But I saw a video today and I actually thought it was genius, and it stopped me a little bit. It stopped me in my tracks. And the guy was like, yeah, women probably do prefer abs. Yeah, you should be fit. But you know what people don't like? Is the abs guy whose whole personality is working out and being, I'm the fit guy. And I was like, and there's the problem on the other side. That so many, well, at least the ones you see, and this is the argument I always have with so many of these things, is that it's always the loud minority that we focus on, and it is these 1%ers who is like, well, all I am is fit. All I do is work out. Check out my abs. Like, fuck your dad bod when you could have abs. And I'm like, well, as I said, I have great issues with this concept of the dad bod because of the other connotations that come with it. It's the, lack of responsibility, and it's the, I'm going to abdicate, my responsibility to look after myself and be strong, fit, and healthy, which should be a standardized byproduct. Like, that should be the norm, not a, questionable decision. We should all, not just dads, but everyone, should be strong, fit, and healthy. It should just be the baseline product that we should stop normalizing being overweight. We should stop normalizing things that are negative for our health. That we should be fit. And then, people want to demonize the other one because I had a fucking dumbass commenting and he was like, oh, well, past just losing a little bit of body fat, it's all just diminishing returns and it's unnecessary and it's actually bad for your health. In what world is being fit and not carrying excess body fat bad for your health? Look, if we want to talk top tier bodybuilders, yeah. Like, the level that they work at and the things that they do, those things are, yes, bad for your health. Like, when you step on that stage, what they're doing isn't healthy. That's not health. But that is an infinitesimal small minority. And they're also aware of it. They're not claiming to be hyper healthy. But you can have a six-pack, you can be shredded, you can be in great fucking shape and still be incredibly healthy. Like, and this is the problem with it, that we seem to have the extremes only. That we have the massive polar opposites and people want to argue in the extremes. My biggest gripe with the dad bod, and why I will continue to rail against it, is that it's not healthy. And it's the reduction of, man's health and masculinity and being strong and fit, and that, you reach a point when you have children that you just stop and you abdicate. And I think that is honestly, the lowest form and the worst thing you can do it as a father. That you go, well, I can't do this anymore because I have children. Well, fuck. You should be doing it because you have children. They should be the reason that you do it. That you should find better ways to figure it the fuck out. And I've spoken before, yeah, you have less time. You do. You have way less time. And I was naive and arrogant, and when I was in my 20s and had all the time in the world, I was like, you just find time to work it out. And you just make it happen. It's a ridiculous notion. Not everybody has the same 24 hours in the day. I have very limited time that is actually my own. But the time that I have, I make damn sure I utilize it on things that matter. AKA working out, AKA being fit, strong, and healthy. Doing the things that need to be done to be in great shape, to be a beacon, to be the leader. And I include my kids in it. And I think it's the greatest thing under the sun. They think it's hilarious. They think it's so much fun. They ask me all the time, can we go to your gym and work out? Because you normalize it. And here's a shocking thing to learn for your children, that most of the time they just want to hang out with you. And they want to do the things that you're doing. So just include them in it. Include them as part of what you're doing. Include them in the workouts. Don't have time to go for your weighted walk. Cool. Put your kids on bikes. Take them with you. Load up some extra weight so it's heavier. Take the kids with you. Buy some kettlebells. Work out in your, front yard, in your lounge room, in your garage, in whatever the fuck it is. Buy really little ones. Include them. The problem is that so many people want to abdicate the responsibility of it because I have children. Make it part of their world. It's still this one to this day that I think is the most cringeworthy one, and I didn't even know how to respond. But I had a guy who was I was like, well, just remove all the food from your house. Remove the junk food. It's a hell of a lot easier to stay on plan when the food isn't in your house. And he was like, oh, well, my biggest problem is that I end up eating sleeves of Oreos. And I was like, why? As I said, just remove it. Don't buy them. And he's like, oh, I buy them for my kids. Okay. Well, that shit's not good for your children either. Stop fucking buying them Oreos. And he's like, oh, I couldn't possibly do that. They love them. Okay, so they're about to have their first lesson in things that you enjoy aren't necessarily good for you. That's okay. That's a good life lesson. Oreos are now a sometimes food. They're not bought every fucking week and just endlessly in the house. Getting healthier, getting fitter, getting stronger, looking after yourself, shockingly, will benefit your children as well. Because if you aren't consuming the stuff, well, then they aren't either, because it's just not there. It's just not a part of their life. And yeah, maybe you'll have some hard moments because they'll rail against you for a little while, but then you'll get past it. And things will get better for everyone. But on the flip side of it, also, don't be the ab guy. Don't be the guy whose whole fucking world is built on, yeah, I'm fit, therefore I'm better. No. You should just be fit. This is the one that as I said, I come back to all the time. It shouldn't be a separator. It shouldn't be this weird thing. It shouldn't be this thing of look at me with my abs. It should be that we're all that way. Being strong, fit, and healthy should just be the standard, just the norm, just run of the mill. But we keep, as a society, wanting to lower the bar and make it easier. And instead of going, hey, what we're doing isn't good. Hey, what we're doing isn't a great life choice. It's let's change what's normal and acceptable to suit my lack of effort, to suit my lack of ability to do the work, to have some self-control. And this is always my biggest issue with the dad bod. And I will continue to rail against it. And I will continue to have issues with it. And I will continue to tell you that it is not acceptable to be like, I have reached this point in my life by producing a child, therefore I don't need to look after myself anymore. Nor will I find it acceptable to neglect your family to work out. To be like, well, I have to be, look good and be strong and have abs and stuff. Therefore, I don't spend time with my kids. Therefore, I'm neglecting my wife. Therefore, I'm abdicating my other responsibilities as a father so that I can have those things. No, that's actually worse. Like, I actually have a greater problem with that, because now that whole thing becomes selfish. Because I firmly believe there is nothing more selfless than looking after your health and fitness. But if it's for the right reasons. I do this for my kids. I do this to lead by example. I do this so that I can do all the things that they want. I can be a part of the things that they need, so that I can be around for as long as humanly possible. And this is the one with the dad bod. Most dad bods, or pretty much all of them, are overweight, at bare minimum, if not obese. Therefore, it has a negative toll on your health and fitness. Just purely on your heart and your organs, it is placing a greater stress. That is not a good life choice and will shorten your life expectancy and have ramifications at some point. I had some guy and he's like, you're always talking about the extremes of disease and things. And I'm like, well, it's coming. Like, you being overweight means it's coming, means it's happening. It will arrive at some point. Like, you can't deny that. You can't negotiate that. It is coming for you at some point because of those life decisions. Or you can put in the work. Or you can do the little things. You can tally up those 1,000 little choices that'll make you healthier, that'll make you stronger, that'll make you fitter, that makes you harder to kill, that makes it easier for you to survive. All these kinds of things. And therefore you'll have healthier, stronger, fitter, more capable children. You get all of the benefits and you lead by example. As I said, for me, it's always the abdication of responsibility on either side. Whether you've got the dad bod and you're abdicating your responsibility for your health and fitness because you're like, I have children, therefore it's totally acceptable. No, it fucking ain't. Nor is it acceptable on the other side to be like, well, I have abs and I've got to look after that and make sure I maintain my image. Therefore, I'm not spending time with my children. That is equally as bad, if not worse, and more offensive to the hard-working fathers who there are numerous out there. Like, there is a growing trend of this, and I fucking love it. Of fathers who are waking up and going, I need to be in great shape. I need to do the work. I need to look after myself. And it means giving up the things that do not matter. It means letting go of the irrelevant for the important. So yeah, it might mean you miss out on a little bit of sleep. It might mean that you don't get to watch TV or the game. It might mean that you don't spend as much time fucking sitting on your phone, doom scrolling. But for you to lead a better life, for you to lead by example, for you to be there for your children and be able to do the things that they want. The six-pack is a fucking bonus. It's not the point. And that's the difference. That the dad bod is abdicating his responsibility so that he doesn't have to do the work. The ab guy is abdicating his responsibility as a father so that he can have a vanity thing. The six-pack is not the point of this. To be strong, fit, and healthy and be able to fucking do anything I want at any point with my children, with my family, and to live for as long as humanly possible. That's the fucking point. The abs and looking great and having that kind of stuff, that's just a nice byproduct. It comes down to where you place the responsibilities. It comes down to not abdicating your responsibilities and placing your priorities. My number one priority is my kids, my wife, and my clients. That's how I structure that. After that, I need my life to show that those are my priorities. Therefore, I do the things that are necessary. And that means that I am in great shape. It means I'm looking after it because I am the provider. I am the one who needs to do these things. So I take care of those things. I don't abdicate my responsibility and be like, I can be fat, I can eat what I want because I'm a father, therefore I don't have time. No, you do have time, and you need to make time. But also that you don't get to abdicate your responsibility of spending time with your children, because you will not get that time back. Make them a part of your world. Include them. Build it into them. Show them the way. Lead by example and become the greatest version. Start demanding greatness and show them that they can demand greatness of themselves as well.